Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm trying to see if I can record this video in one take, so let's see if I can do that. As you can tell from the video, this is about my hair, talking about my Microlocs. And I'm at about 8-9 months, so June will be 9 months for me, so I'm gonna call this my 9-month update. I'm just gonna share some information about how life has been with locks. Now, if anyone knows me in real life, and you know that in certain situations, locks are seen in a controversial light. I have done my research, so I do know the origins and the people that wore locks way back in the day. And the fact that my hair does this is an indicator for why a lot of people did it back then, because their hair does this. And I'll get into the benefits that I have found, but just to get into everything, I just want to talk about how I have been taking care of my hair. I did, a lot of research from the history of locks and also the care of locks currently, how people are maintaining their hair. And I saw that a lot of people use Suave clarifying shampoo. So I was going to purchase that. I ended up going to Marshall's one day and I found this other shampoo. Somebody mentioned that if the shampoo is clear, it is clarifying for the most part. So I got this shampoo from Marshall's. This is Rosemary Mint. It says it's infused with biotin. I'm not sure how that works. I take biotin in my vitamins anyway, but this supposedly is infused with it, and you can see that it is a clear shampoo. So you can see right through it, as opposed to something like this. So this is a Shea Moisture shampoo. I love Shea Moisture products, but I've been focusing on using this one, and I bought this one for my family to use because we all love Shea Moisture. And I'm not opposed to using this, but I am starting with this one and I want to see how it goes. So far, it's been great. So yes, 9 months. I did start my locks in September 2023, and I did make some changes along the way. So at this point, I don't know how many locks I have. I know I have a little over 400, but I have not counted to get an official number. So I might do that one day just because I'm kind of curious myself, but I know I have over 400. My goal was to get over 400. I thought that when I was like 350 or somewhere around there that it wasn't enough, and I was nervous that if it was lower than 400 that they would end up plumping up and becoming bigger than what I really want once they mature. I do want them to be sizable, but I didn't want them to be too big. But I feel like 400 is perfect or around there because of the maintenance, and that's one of the cons. I am going to talk about a lot of benefits, but I feel like there's like 3 cons that I came up with for myself personally. And the retying process and time is a con. Even though it's only certain times in the year, I consider it a con because for me it takes about 2 days to do it. I usually do like the back section first, and then the next day I'll finish with the front. And it does take hours at a time, and I usually will watch something or have something going on in the background while I'm doing it. And I've gotten to the point now where I don't need a mirror, especially for the back. I don't use a mirror, I just feel there. And then I have to be more intentional with using my clips and clamps, because I have accidentally attached 2 locks together, and I was able to take them apart when I did that. But I need to be more intentional with the clips, and these are the clips that I use usually. So like these little duck clips, and then I have these clamps, and then of course regular bobby pins. This is the tool that I use to interlock at this point. And I shared this in one of my other videos, but at that time I was also using a crochet needle, and this had me like flying through the back, and I would stand in the mirror and just do this, and I got through it so fast. But as my hair got longer and a little bit thicker, it's harder for me to use that for some reason. I might try it again, but so far I really like using this. This is a yarn needle that I modified, so I stretched out the opening with a pair of scissors, and then I use like a wrench and 2 wrenches, I think, to just bend it. I did that to 2 yarn needles, and that's like my favorite thing. I do the 2-point rotation. So I think occasionally it could be a 3-point because sometimes I don't really remember which way I went. So sometimes I'll go the other way depending on how my hand is, because sometimes it's easier like on the right side than the left or something like that. So depending on what I'm doing, sometimes I'll end up doing a 3-point rotation, but for the most part I focus on a 2-point, and that's because I'm doing it myself. Now when I started out, I thought I was going to do a 4, but for my hand to go around and do all of that, I didn't want to do that and complicate it. And so far I feel like I'm happy with the size, so we'll see what happens later. I'm coming up on a year and they're still pretty small. Not sure what's going to change later on, but of course I'm going to give updates here and there. So as I was saying about the 400 count, it's the perfect number because of the retie process. I don't have a lot of time because I do self-maintain my hair, and even if I was going somewhere else, I wouldn't want it to take forever. So getting up to like 550 or something like that would just not work for me realistically. And then I also was nervous about having locks that are too thin and then they start to like snap off or need to be combined. I'm happy with where I am. So 4C hair, so for anyone out there with thick 4C hair, my strands are very thin, but my texture is the thickest I've ever worked with. Like my loose natural hair was the thickest, kinkiest, nappiest hair I've ever experienced, and I don't know anybody in my real life whose hair was nappier than mine. And I'm not saying nappy in a put down term, it's just the reality of the situation. So, and this is how my hair is looking. So pretty much this whole bottom half is kind of like texturized a little bit. For the most part, I did have like fully thick roots when I started, about this much of natural roots. So it's grown out quite a bit in almost a year. So I'm only working with kind of like straighter ends at the bottom. And just to give you an idea of what the ends even look like, they just look like this. And in the front, I always had a looser texture. The back was a little bit more. So the ends are kind of like getting those little rolly rolls on them. I don't know. But yeah, also with my hair, so I retie it about approximately every 8 weeks, but sometimes in between there, depending on if an event is coming up, like now something's coming up in a couple of weeks, which I want to have my hair maintained, so I'm gonna retie it for that. But before I get to the retie, I have something else that I want to do, another event that I'm going to, and I want everything to be nice. So I did go in and retwist my hair. So I will retwist my roots every so often, and when I do that, I use this Talia Wajid Lock It Up gel. I will retwist my hair with this. Also, I still get strands that are like loose, so I will finish the twist out and like try to roll those loose hairs around the lock, and I will use this when I do that. And like I said, when I retwist it as well. So right now my roots are retwisted. It's been a few days and I've been sleeping on it, of course, with a scarf, but it is looking neater. I don't know if you can really tell at this point. I'm going to try to get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. It's mainly, the main places you can tell is around the hairline. Okay, I don't know, I hope you could see, but that's what I do in between reties when I'm waiting, when I have something that I want to do and I want my hair to look a certain way. The other thing I do use on my hair on a pretty regular basis, not like every day or even every other day, but I do have a spray bottle. I'll just put water in it and then I'll add different oils. So for the most part, I put jojoba oil in there. I put a few drops of lavender oil before, just because, I don't know, I think the smell would be nice. The other thing that I will sometimes add to the spray bottle recently is just a little bit of leave-in conditioner along with those oils, because like I said, the dryness is there, and I don't, you know, I know the dryness is part of the process, but I don't want it to feel too dry. So I will add the leave-in conditioner just a little bit with a lot of water and a few little bits of oil, and then I'll just spray that in whenever I feel like it needs it. And then I will massage my scalp as I talked about before. I'll put the jojoba oil on my fingers and just massage it through all over, and that just stimulates the scalp and does, you know, helps it out, because we're not combing and doing all that, so the scalp needs some kind of direct attention. Castor oil is pretty thick, and I only really use that around my edges and my hairline. And then the other thing that I use that I have never heard any other locked person talk about is oil sheen. I'll spray this directly into my hair and get all the way down into the scalp with just good old oil sheen. And I just had this from my relaxed days, loose natural days, and just spray it in. And I feel like it just has like that direct hit into the scalp. It gets right in there, and then we can just massage it on through and kind of pull it down a little bit maybe, and then go. So that's another thing I've been doing. I do wash my hair quite often. I don't have a routine for that, but one of the benefits that I'm going to get into, the list of benefits with locks that I have found, is washing my hair as often as I want. Like when I had loose natural hair, I didn't wash it as often as I do now. Like I'll wash my hair multiple times in a week at this point, where I would never do that before because of the detangling process with loose natural hair, and then also just having to style it after that. It was not a quick time. At this point with locks, I literally wash it and let it air dry. Sometimes I'll put it in braids because I love a braid out, but to just literally wash and go, locks is literal wash and go. You wash it and just walk out into the summer day, let it dry in the sun. I mentioned that I had 3 cons that I come up with for me personally, and one of them was the retie process and the time of the retie, which again is not all the time. It's only a few times in the year, but it is a con because it just is time consuming. The other con is, I'll say, a scalp irritation, which I do not experience anymore, but I had to put that there because at the beginning, I think it's just like I said this before in my other lock update video, where I think it's just the process of your scalp getting used to something new on it. And then laying on my head was an issue because I feel like the lock strand resting against my scalp when I would lay down would be irritating. But for the most part, scalp irritation is a non-issue right now, but it was something that I had to deal with at the beginning. So I don't know if that's a thing for everyone, but that's one of the cons that I had to list. And my third con, I have to say, is like missing straight hair. Locks are beautiful to me, but I do really like straight hair. Like I love when I used to straighten my hair, but it's not enough of a miss for me to go back to it, because I imagine like if I didn't have this, like what would I be doing? Like if I were to comb out my locks right now, which never in a million years would I try to do that for these little things, but if I were to comb out my hair, what would be the first thing I do to it? Like once I'm sitting there looking at myself with hair out, what then? And I don't miss the days of washing it and doing all that detangling process and all that. I don't miss that whatsoever. I only miss the look of straight hair on myself. And it's here and there where I will miss it. It's just the same way where I have baby fever when I see babies, but I'm not having any babies. So I put it in that same category. Like I missed it a little bit, but it's not enough to be like, oh, well, it's a regret. No, negative. Not a regret whatsoever. It's just a thing that I see and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I wish I could do that. Oh, just like when I see a baby, I'm like, oh, he's so cute. I wish I could have one, but not really. So yeah, it's in that category. So, but I will say it's a con because it's something that I can't have, because I know, you know, locks are versatile. I could always mimic what a loose natural twist out looks like. I could do roller sets. I can do a lot of different styles, but straight hair is one style that I would not be able to mimic without using a wig, and I'm not doing that. So I'm just have what I have and I'm happy with it. But like I said, it's on the list. So there's way more benefits though I found with locks, and one of them is, like I mentioned, about washing, going, jumping in a pool, going wherever you want, going through the rain. And I know people would say, loose natural hair is hair freedom too, because you can go out into the rain and be fine. But not me, because with my loose natural hair, the only way that I could wear it and look presentable and feel confident and feel comfortable is when my hair was stretched. So even if it wasn't straightened out, it would need to be stretched. Any signs of moisture in the air would cause that stretch to shrink back. And my shrinkage was literally like so dramatic. I could have this much hair and the shrinkage would come down, bring it down to like an inch from my scalp. That I was not having. With locks, shrinkage is not a problem because it will shrink, of course, but not to the level of a loose natural hair. It's not going to shrink that low. So walking outside in the rain, even with curls or with a braid out or something like that, will not destroy the hair. It will, you know, probably loosen the curls a little bit, but it would have to probably be like pouring down raining in order to mess up the curls, because these locks hold curls and hold a curl definition and a braid out pattern for so long that it's like you have to wash it out if you want it out. So rain is not a factor. Taking showers without a shower cap, I do that all the time. The steam in the bathroom during the shower is beneficial for your hair. That's why a lot of black women's their hair thrives when they go to like Caribbean places, they go to exotic places, tropical locations, Africa, where it's hot and steamy and moisture is in the air. Your hair thrives in that climate. So taking a shower without a shower cap, the steam in the bathroom is what is moisturizing the hair and keeping it thriving. It loves it. I went to a spa not too long ago. I was able to go into the pool. I went into the sauna, the steam room, all over. No worries about my hair. Didn't have to get box braids or hair weaved into my hair to make that a pleasurable experience. I could just go right into the steam room, hair plumped up like crazy, soaked up all that steam, got all that lovely moisture, and my hair loved it. Went into the sauna, no problem. Some races of people would not understand what black women go through with their hair, but in reality, I feel like we're probably one of the only races that have to manipulate their hair in order to make it look presentable after washing it, or after it gets wet, or after it gets exposed to moisture, unless it's in a weave style, you know, like braids or something. But with our regular hair, we are pretty much the only people, unless there's some blends or mixes of people where their hair texture is similar, where they can't just jump, you can't just jump in a pool or jump in the shower real fast and then go about your day without doing something after. If you go swimming and then you get out of the pool, whether you have loose natural hair or a perm, you're gonna have to do something to your hair, most likely after you get out of the pool, in order to go to the next thing. Literally with locks, you go swimming, you can get out of the pool, put a little, squeeze the water out, and go to dinner, go to lunch. You can just go. This is the most like hair that you can get. I get in the shower, put my hair in a ponytail, come out the shower, let it out, the steam has moisturized it, and I'm on to the next thing. The other thing is, I had a real problem with exercising and working out. So my doctor kept recommending, oh, you need to exercise like 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week or something like that. I kept putting it off because when I had loose natural hair or a texturizer or whatever, I would straighten it, have a nice style. I would pin curl my hair when it was curled and like flatten it down, put a little clip in it, and have pin curls all over to maintain a style. But of course, you're exercising. My scalp sweats when I exercise. So if ever I had a style in my hair, if I straightened my hair as a loose natural, if I stretched it, I don't want any type of moisture in my scalp to make my hair revert. So that would cause me not to exercise. So I was putting off things that I needed to do for my health because I was worried about my hair. So that's why I end up washing my hair so often now, because if I sweat in my scalp, I literally can rinse it out. I can wash it out. Either one, on a regular basis, like multiple times a week. So I'm not afraid to work out anymore. And afraid is kind of like a crazy way to say it, but it was like I just did not want my hair to be messed up after going through all the process of putting heat on it, getting a style set, and to have that revert within a day. There's no way I was exercising. But at this point, I exercise anytime I want on a regular, consistent basis, and I'm good to go. That is like an extreme benefit for me at this age. I have to work out. I have to exercise. I need to maintain certain things, and I'm back doing that within the past few months. So yeah, love that. Of course, there are no long wash days, no detangling process. My wash days used to be ridiculously long. I would have to set aside a lot of time to just do my hair, hours in a day. And that's out the window now. I'm supposed to still be braiding and banding right now. So you braid the hair and put a little band on it and wash it like that. I don't do that. I wash my hair just straight because I feel like I need the water to flow through everything. I don't like the idea of like having a thick braid and then calling that washing. No, I need to get into everything. So I'll wash it, and then after the wash is over, I will braid sections, let it air dry like that. Or if I need to, I'll put my blow drying bonnet on and let the hair dry quicker that way. But it's so fast and freeing. And there's not a lot of products that I have to use. I think I talked about all the products that I really use, and that's all I do. So it's just a freeing way to have hair. The other thing, the last benefit that I'll mention is that the locks just lay. What I remember when, and I'm comparing this to when I have loose natural hair and I would straighten it out and have it laying down. My hair is not that soft texture where if you straighten it, it just hangs down. It would kind of get a life of its own. So as I'm moving around, the hair is like coming up. If it's shoulder length, it would like do some little flippy thing like this, or like this piece will be hanging down, or this part would be like down the middle, and then this is here, and I would constantly have to like run my fingers through it. Like I have my fingers in my hair now, but not because I have to, it's because I just want to. So if it'll mold to my shoulder shape, it'll blow in the wind and not come back down. If my hair blows in the wind now, it drops back. This will blow and then it drops right back down. There's not much that I have to do to keep it laying in a certain way. If I push it to the side, it stays there. If I pull this down, if I put this behind here, it stays. With loose natural hair, getting this to fall a certain way would always be a chore or something extra that I would have to do. But no, at this point, I feel like my hair just does what I want it to do. It lays the way it needs to lay when it's out, and my preferred way of wearing it is just out like this. So I think I talked long enough now. That's my 9-month lock update, life with locks. And I don't know when I'm gonna share another one, but I hope this was helpful. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope that you stick around for more, because if I am able to, I'm going to share some lock styles over time, because I don't usually take a lot of pictures of my hair and when I do different styles. Because I have done, like, I did a halo braid recently. What else? I don't do too much, but if I do any styles, I want to incorporate them on this channel. So stick around for that. I hope you subscribe if you find anything on this channel that you like. I talk about fashion, modest fashion. Of course, I'm going to be giving hair updates. I talk about general lifestyle things like ways to dress. I'm going to be talking about more lifestyle things. I don't know if I have too many videos on that topic right now, but I consider this a lifestyle channel. So everything that involves my life, I will be open to talking about at some point. And I do have my Women in the Bible series. A lot of things, different things going on. So I hope you stick around, subscribe, and click the thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.